Hello, everybody! Allow me to, see if I can deal with the nuke that's going off behind me, and then we'll get started. How are you all doing? Is that looking any better? Me? Kind of? A smidge? Oh, I'm very dark now. Hold on, let me grab a light. Do I have any? Oh, I don't have any of the chargers in here. No. Oh, wait. Is this one? Nope, that is not one of the chargers. Alright, hold on, guys. Hold on. I gotta go grab a charger for the light because with the window closed like that, it gets very dark in here, and then I'm gonna be super, super backlit, so I need something to brighten everything up. I'll be right back! This is what I get for diving into hell for Super Earth! I've been playing way too much of that game. Just absolutely way too much. Alright, let's get this on. Let's get that there. Let me step over this cord without killing myself. Does that look better? Indeed it does. Let's warm it up a little bit. There we go. Okay. I'm actually lit. You can kind of see me now. Hello! Hello to Charlie and Havman. Welcome. As you guys can see, I have here the remainder of the crew for my M3, or my Marder 3M. I almost said it backwards. I almost said M3 Marder. That's wrong. The Marder 3M. I have the tank crew here. We're going to paint them up today. I figured since I was, I kind of ran out of time on getting them all done for the video, it's like, you know what? I'll just turn it into a fun live stream to follow up the video, which I hope you all have had a chance to go watch today. If not afterwards, please go check it out. Alright, let's get them off of their putty. See if we need to do any touch-up on anybody. Maybe just around their feet. But they're looking pretty good. Just gonna set my priming stick back here.
Is your focus working?
Is it on this, or?
Yeah. Okay, I just want to make sure it was on.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I'm just zoomed far out right now. There we go. Now you guys can see them all a little bit better. So I primed them up this morning. I built them like ages ago. I do see some undersides that I need to take care of, so I'm going to grab some Gracier real quick before we actually get to fully painting them, but I have a very solid plan because it's basically going to follow exactly what I did in the video with maybe a couple additional colors because, for example, he has a shell, so we're going to need some gold and black on that, etc. Let me grab my soda, bring that over here, and then Gracier. That's what I'm looking for. Where is my Gracier? There it is. Try not to knock over other paints while I grab the paint I need. Hello to Bobby, Johnny, Tim, and Michael. Welcome, welcome. The thing that I was using to hold the figures, so this... Let me zoom back out. Oh, no, that's zooming back in. So this contraption here, I don't know if Citadel still makes this version of it, but this is the old, Citadel priming stick that they came out with a couple years ago. I think they still make this. The thing is I think they've improved it because I've seen a recent one, and it's why I'm not sure they sell this one specifically anymore, although you may just be able to find it on like eBay or something, or just honestly in online game stores, like a local retailer, because they may still have some old stock of it if they bought like a shit ton back when they were still available, because I'm not 100% sure it's available, because the ones I've seen recently are on a pivot where you can actually rotate the orientation of this platform, which is pretty neat, but I'm like, you can just turn your hand. Like, if you put putty on there, because I never used the rubber band things that this thing came with, because it came with, like, these rubber bands that you're supposed to put on these nubs to, like you see all these nubs and everything here. Here, let me show you on here. All these nubs, you were supposed to, like, stretch rubber bands in between them and stick your models like bases in the center here, and that's supposed to hold it on. I don't do that. I just use putty. That's why there's a bunch of putty on this. And that means you can just fucking hold it upside down, rotate it whatever angle you need to. And honestly, it also makes for a good surface to like set on a flat surface and just start spraying. So yeah, I don't know if this is still available, but that's what it is. Hopefully that sufficiently answered the question. Ah, Lazy Susan is a good way to do it, especially if you have like an airbrush station or something like that. Absolutely. All right, let's go ahead and shake up this gray sear because there's a couple places that I can see like specifically on the underside of, let me zoom in. Let me zoom back in. Like on the underside of his arm, there's a little bit that I didn't get primed. So let's take care of that and then we'll get to the actual painting. It is really nice when base coating or priming, like that little stick, which is, I mean, that's what it was sort of designed for. Alright. That's taken care of. Let's make sure under his hat got primed. And then we'll clean up his feet a little bit because those always end up in the putty and tend to get a little bit unprimed sometimes because of it. Although I think they'll end up being black, so it's probably not going to be that big of a deal. I'll just use a flat black and that'll take care of it. I say as I continue to just throw on primer. Alright, he looks pretty good. Let's see if there's anybody else. I think I got most everyone else. There was just a couple, yeah, underneath the arms a little where I really missed. How's the volume for everybody? Music sound good? Am I loud enough and everything? Hello, Vince. Welcome. Hope you're doing well today. That looks better. You know, something I didn't look up. What color are the helmets? Are they going to end up being the same green as the hats are for the officers? Because, like, the tank driver's hat was green. I'll need to look at the guide. Alright, I think this guy actually got pretty well primed. He's got a very open stance, though, so it makes a little bit more sense that he'd get better coverage. All sounds good. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Glad to hear it. Definitely don't need that much paint. There's not much left to do. Okay, the thing I'm concerned with on him, yep, underside of his arms. There we go. Taking care of that. And then, yeah, his hands and underneath the binoculars. Also, apparently under his chin I missed. He's has a very covered face, though. I'll give myself some credit there. Yeah. That looks like everything. Okay. So they're all looking good. We can actually get to priming. Now, I actually bought a new set of paints for this. Nothing that's, like, actually new in regards to it's new to the world of paints, but I picked up the German Field Gray figure painting set from Vallejo, which has a variety of useful colors in it. The main ones that I used in the video are the German Field Gray World War II color here, so that one. And then I did use the Sunny Skin Tone for the face. Everything else I kind of ignored. I guess technically I used some of this black, but I already had that black. I have a few Vallejo colors, but not many. And in fact, I think the ones I need are already out of this set, so I don't know why I reopened it. Alright, here we go. We got our field gray, and this is what we're going to start with on all of our uniforms, because they're pretty much all just decked out in this color. Helmets would be a darker shade of the field. Got it. Okay, cool. I'll mix a little bit of blacken than with the field gray color tone and use that. Thank you. Dark gray for the helmets? Okay. Maybe I'll put a dark gray in with the field gray color. That way it doesn't go too dark, but it'll have a little bit of a deeper tint to it. It's really funny to me, this field gray color tone looks so much more green in the bottle, and like when you first put it on the palette, but then when it dries, it ends up being way darker than I was anticipating. Like, it's still a very pretty color, like I like it a lot. It was just unexpected, because it didn't dry quite the way I expected it to. Color tone wise. Alright, we got... Oh, let me not cramp my hands unnecessarily and actually get some putty and a couple of caps for my Redgrass Gaming. What is this thing called? Painting handle. It's called a painting handle. I don't know why I forgot that. Just, they kept it monotone. I've seen some camo patterned uniforms, but I don't know how often that was, like, used. And the recommendation in the guide, at least, that Tamiya gave me is definitely just all this field gray color tone. Alright, let's go ahead and zoom in. Having focus on that. Let's try to lock it. And let's get to painting. I also like how, like, weirdly baggy their pants are. I guess if you're gonna be out in the field in them, you want to be comfortable, right? That's the idea. Man, this paint is very smooth. I do like the Vallejo. Like, I don't use Vallejo very often because I don't find their colors loose out in the wild. And normally with paints, generally, I like to see them before I purchase them because I like to actually look at the color in the pot. So I don't tend to buy them online individually very often, but Vallejo is like one of the few that I have because I can't find it around in like in stores where I live. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just like hard for this region to import or something, because like I think it's an Italian company that makes Vallejo, but hence the name. But yeah, I have such a hard time finding them. But I do tend to, like, I'm okay with buying paint sets for some reason. I don't know why. It's just, I'm weird about that. But that's why I picked up this paint set. 'Cause it's like, well, I've used Vallejo paints before. I do like them. And I know that they have a lot of good historical colors. So why not? Why not utilize them, right? And frankly, it is a really pretty green. It's a really, really pretty green. Hello, Ase Garcia. Welcome. Stanley's Toy Channel. Hello, hello. When I do the diorama, yes. They're actually just going to go into the tank. They do just sit in the... Well, I think 3 of them are in the back of the tank. One of them is on the ground, and so he'll probably be added to the diorama eventually, but 3 of them will be added just to the tank when I'm finished with them. Because they just go in the back. That's why the one guy has the shell. He's in the process of loading the cannon. That big 76mm gun. Which I kind of hope we end up getting like a replica of. Not like specifically the Martyr, but in my brain is very much on Super Earth right now, and Helldivers 2. In Helldivers 2, they're going to introduce tanks, and I hope we get one of them with a big gun. Especially for against the automatons, oh my gosh. There's a little bit of color that I need to add in there. And then I think... Oh, nope, I completely missed that section. There we go. It's looking better. Let's fix the opacity on some of that. It's looking a little thin. A little uneven. We don't want that. We don't want an uneven color. Alright. Looking pretty good. You guys noticing anywhere else where maybe I missed things? I think I got it all. Alright, let's start getting it into his jacket. I'll try to keep the belt pretty clean, but we can always go over it with the other color we're going to use next. Oh yeah, I'm sure there's a lot. Like when I was looking at when I was just looking up reference for German camouflage, I found a lot of different designs. I was actually kind of surprised how many varieties there really were. I mean, I guess you kind of update it while you're out in the field depending on what you need, right? So if you're like foliage change or your landscape change and you're trying to blend your tank in, you may want to update your camo and try different patterns, different stripes, different polka dots, I don't know. Squiggles. There was a lot of different stuff. I still want to pick up a another Easy 8 and try the Korean War, like, face paint that they put on it, which was really cool looking. I think that's when they did it. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong on that, but I feel like that was what I remember talking with somebody about. So it should be pretty cool. Like that, I think that'd be fun. It'd be an interesting challenge. Different from camo, obviously, but definitely a fun challenge. Oh, they're from Spain. Vallejo's... Wait, so is Vallejo Spanish or is it Italian? You know, I don't know why I can just look it up. Alright, hold on. Where was Vallejo based? Where is Vallejo based? No, that's no. The paint company. No, that is still just the city in California. Okay, so yeah, you're right. You're right. Who corrected? Who was the one who corrected to say that it was Spain? Because that is correct. Ase, yes, you're absolutely correct. They are, in fact, apparently, though, they founded in New Jersey. Apparently, they were founded in New Jersey and then went back to Spain, which I find very funny. Oh, are they in Barcelona? How long have they been in Barcelona? Because I actually was near, like, I've never been to Spain. The closest I've ever gotten was Angoulême, France. But I did, part of the school, because I was there for school, and part of the classes that were there, it wasn't my degree, but the architecture and interior design students all got to go to Barcelona. And that would have totally been so cool to see the factory or something, or see the headquarters. Oh, is that what it was? There was a scare tactic? That makes sense. Totally makes sense. Ooh, Michael, you're building a model of the USS Defiant from DS9? Sick! That's awesome. I love DS9. That's my favorite favorite Star Trek series. Cisco's my captain. Controversial, I know, but I think he's really awesome. Alright, let's keep working on this German soldier. According to Google, that's at least what it says. It says he was originally founded in New Jersey and then they left and went back to Spain. And I'm like, you know what? I don't blame you for that. New Jersey doesn't necessarily have the best reputation. So, I get it. I get it. I apologize to anybody who may live in or around New Jersey. Sorry. I just know in pro wrestling, New Jersey is constantly, like, riffed on. And whenever WWE used to go to New Jersey, but like called it New York because they were like on the border, was always really funny. Because I think that happened like once or twice, if I recall, like long ago. Is it? What is the where does that saying come from? Like what's the origin of that? Because like I'm not disagreeing, I'm just like I've never heard that before. And that's fun. What is it about the waters? Is there like good minerals? Does it make the paint flow really nicely? Do you just get some like is there excellent I mean I know that like there's some good minerals for like pigments around, well, at least in, like, some areas in France and that. I assume there's some in, like, Spain as well. It's a close enough region, right? I remember because I went to the ochre mines, on one of the trips there. There was a city that had, like, these just gorgeous ochre mines. And we got to go through. We were able to take some of the raw ochre home, and that was super cool to like actually draw with because it's just you can immediately start drawing with it. It's kind of like a pastel in consistency, and so I can only imagine there's some like awesome pigments that get turned into really cool colors. I also just know the architecture in Barcelona is supposed to be just rad. Which is why the you know, architecture students and interior design students went there. I don't remember what building specifically they were there to see, but there was like one building in particular that they were all like, oh my god, I can't wait to see it. You probably just have like some really nice rich minerals that work well with like in whatever medium that they're using as the binding agent for their colors. I mean, to be fair, these are some nice pigments. They flow well. It is quite high quality. I will give you that. And not terribly expensive. I think this set was like 22, 23 bucks on Amazon, I believe. Because like I said, I had to order it online. Because none of my local stores, even with their online sections, don't have a... I've never seen Vallejo really being sold. Again, I'm really not sure why. Especially if they did, well, I guess New Jersey's nowhere near here, so never mind. Ignore what I was about to say. Alright, we're gonna get into weird angles. So we can get all his arms and his chest and everything that we covered up by attaching stuff. Oh, the cathedral sounds probably amazing. Alright, that's looking good. A little bit of that there, a little bit of that there. We need to do this arm. And then somehow get on that side of his jacket. I'm gonna bring him up to me. I'm sorry, you guys are gonna have to not see this for a moment. Don't worry, the process hasn't changed. I'm still applying paint in the exact same way. That's taken care of there. Let's get in there to his breast. Move that paint around as it was kind of globby. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Oh, there's a gap there where I missed. And also on the underside of the arm. Again, wow, I'm really bad about getting the undersides of the arms. And then the entire inside of his arm now. On this side. Just blatantly forgot. Blatantly forgot. Alright, here, let me get back in screen for you. Where's Carpilli Castle? It sounds cool. I love going to castles. I've only been to a few, and that was entirely when I was doing my study abroad. Because, you know, America doesn't really have castles. It makes me sad. I wish we did. They would be so cool. Know that if you have castles near you, I'm incredibly jealous. Let's get that. Let's get that painted. Alright. And then... is that everything? Other than maybe some touch-up. And then his hat. Oh, and then the underside of this sleeve. Look at that. Look at that. Very, very unpainted sleeve. Oh, it's in Wales? Very cool. You live near 2 castles, military models, kits and bits. That's awesome. Are they ones that you can like, are like they touristy ones where you can like go inside them, or are they like privately owned ones? So the only, I've not, let's see, have I actually been in, I was near a castle when I was doing my study abroad program in Lacoste, which is where the Marquis de Sade's castle is. And again, we didn't, my class, like the sequential students, we didn't get to go in it, but I do think the architecture students got to go in, and the interior design. I think their professor like convinced or had like an agreement with whoever ran that castle, because they were doing restoration on it, I believe. And so we were near that, and it was a really cool looking castle. The Marquis was a fucked up man. But his castle was neat. If not disturbing a little bit to think about. And then it wasn't really a castle, it was more of a palace, because I went to the Palace of the Pope in, where was it, in France? It's back in like 1500s, I think, when it was like he was there, or 1600s, I can't remember. But whenever the Pope ended up like in France for a little while and he had his palace there, I went and visited that. And then, is there any other? No, we just went to a couple monasteries, I think it was. Which was always really cool, because there were some cloisters. And so, like, they had, like, those really, those buildings with the courtyard in the center, and they have the, like, open pathways, like, walkways all the way around it. It's really, really beautiful. Like, I'm not a super, like, religious person or anything like that, but I do really appreciate like religious architecture. Like cathedrals are very gorgeous. There was lots of really pretty just churches in the area in France that we were in. And then anytime we went to any of the cities, like again, they had some like gorgeous, like, oh, Notre Dame, which unfortunately doesn't exist anymore. Thank God. I was really lucky I got to see it before it burned down again. Do what? Are they, is the reconstruction, nearing completion? That's awesome. I assumed they were rebuilding it or anything, I just hadn't followed up on it. That's great. Oh, that sounds so cool. Yeah, I want to, like, Scotland, I know, and, like, I think Ireland has a variety, and of course England. England's the only other place where I've been to, technically, some castles, because I think... Doesn't the, Why am I blanking on the name of this place? I went to it twice. We were literally in a hotel near it. I don't remember what it's called. Hold on. I want to say the Tower of London, but I don't know if that's correct. Yes, okay. It is correct. The Tower of London. So that's the only other, like, castle I think technically I've been to. Oops. There we go. Let's refocus. Thank you. And also start getting some more paint down. Alright, let's work on his helmet. Or not his helmet, his hat. All within an hour's drive of where you live? Nice. I know there's like, you know the one castle in like the US that I actually think would be really funny to go visit just because, it's ridiculous, and I don't even know if it's still around anymore, but Lord British's castle that he used to have here, because he built like, he built one. Which I want to do. Like, if I got rich enough to be, like, if I won the lottery or something, like an absurd lottery, right? I would definitely build a castle. Because it would be so cool. Oh, man, it would be so cool. Alright, the hat's looking good. Oh, we missed a little bit on the collar. A little bit of patchiness there. Let's take care of that. I didn't really do much of a dry brush on my driver, but I think with these guys I might. Because I think I want to bring back a little bit more of the green that I lost when I do the wash. So I might do that. I might even go and add some of these lighter color tones that they gave me in the kit to it to just add a bit more volume to their outfits. Get near and around where the gun attaches. So it doesn't look like it's just floating there. I think that's looking good. I think we can move on to the next guy. Food fair at a castle sounds awesome. Wales has 600 castles in it. I knew, like, there were a lot in some regions. I didn't know, like, the number was that big. Are they still, like, are they mostly functional? Or are they, like, are the majority of them ruins? Also, I bet Germany has some pretty cool castles, actually. Oh, man, I just want to go to castles now. Added so much water to this paint. Look how thin it is. It's almost contrast-like. Nice. It's kind of neat. Oh, come on, I washed these guys. Why is it doing that? Oh, I hate when the paint sometimes doesn't stick. I wonder if I get, like, stuff in my water or something. Yeah, but they're not, like, they're not actually ancient castles, though, because, you know, we didn't have castles. So they're all just, like, probably exactly what Lord British did, built by really rich people. Like, the colonies didn't have castles, the natives didn't have castles, so we don't even get cool stuff like that. We don't even get cool, like, stuff like what, like all the cool temples and stuff that, like, the Aztecs built and, like, the Mayans and stuff like that, like, South America gets. We were just a big open landscape. With some interesting rock formations. And don't get me wrong, the landscape is beautiful, but, like, I regret castles. And the lack thereof. It's just because I find them charming. If cold. I bet they're very cold. Because I imagine they don't, like, insulate well. And so it's just, like, especially in wintertime, I bet they were real frigid. Everybody stayed in a few rooms together to conserve heat. At least that's what I imagine. No idea if that's actually accurate. Oh, that's cool. I mean, technically, yes. Technically, yes, all castles are built by really rich people. But the ones that, like, are in the US are a bunch of rich people just mimicking what a bunch of old, like, ancient dead rich people did, as opposed to being innovative and creating their own, like, versions of it. Or it being unique, like, a unique style to, like, America, for example. So much. My goodness. I must not have watched this guy as well as I did the other ones. Because I did scrub them all, because I was like, did I scrub them actually? Maybe I didn't. Maybe I watched the tank driver. Maybe I didn't watch the other guys. Oops. It's fine. We'll just layer. It'll build up. It'll build up. It'll be fine. Nothing to worry about. Thank you for subscribing, Shady Lane 67. Hope you enjoy your time here. Lolani Palace. They consider that a castle? I'm pretty sure I've been to Lolani Palace. I lived in Hawaii for a couple years. And did a lot of the touristy stuff, and I don't really remember that being like a castle like a traditional castle, but you know what? I could be wrong, it's been a while. I don't really remember it super well. Because, like, Hawaii has a lot of plantations. Some of all the sugarcane and such, and the pineapples, but... That's where Dole is. Which I will admit, I do enjoy going to the Dole plantation. You want some really fresh pineapple? Mmm. Yes. Yes, please. Yeah, but mostly on the Big Island. Like, most of the cattle ranches, from what I remember, were on the Big Island. Oahu doesn't have much. I mean, it has, like, there's a lot of stuff there, but I mean, like, in regards to cattle, it's mostly people. Alright, that's looking good. Let's do a little bit of a second coat on the pant leg since it was a little thin on my first go. Nothing to worry about, though. Nothing to worry about. There we go. Oh, I added way too much water to that. Let me get some more paint on my palette. Oh, nice, Michael. What part of America are you hoping to visit? There's definitely some nice areas, don't get me wrong. Like, are you wanting to go to, like, one of the big cities and do, like, some touristy stuff? Or, like, what's the plan? Or are you going to, like, Disney World or something? Well, I don't know if I go to Disney World modernly. I don't know how the parks are recently, but I used to love that place. I am also a big Disney kid, though. Like, I grew up on Disney hard. It was my jam. Richmond, Virginia? Nice area. Nice area. I have been there. If that's the Richmond you're going to. Nice. Richmond's a really very nice area. I like Virginia a lot, actually. I lived there for a number of years. Not in the Richmond area. Although I've been there, but I was closer to DC. But the weather was nice. I liked really like the landscape where I was. There were some, like, really just beautiful forests and, like, parks near where I was. And I remember exploring them a lot when I was a kid. It was a lot of fun. I also lived in the weirdest house. It was this house that was owned by this, I think it was a military guy, and his wife was Japanese, and they put a pachinko machine in the wall. It was very strange. They also had a really beautiful Japanese oak in the yard, which was pretty. Especially in the fall time, because it went red. Like, all the leaves were red. It was gorgeous. God, I love that house. That was a great house. I'm also very convinced it might have been haunted. Definitely had some weird stuff happen. And or maybe I was just a kid with a very overactive imagination. Who maybe watched a few too many horror stories. Nice! Oh, I love macadamia nuts. So there's a couple things from Hawaii that I actually have found recently here in California because I think they import it. We have this Japanese market near us, and they have the brand of Iso peanuts is what they're called. It's the ISO. I think it's like Iso. Oh, what are they? Red peanuts? I think Iso red peanuts is what they're called. But basically, it's a peanut, and it's encased in a red, like, hard cracker-like casing that is made of nori seaweed and, like, I assume rice flour, etc., a bunch of other things, but it's a crunchy snack. So good. Love this stuff. Recently discovered it there. The exact same brand I recognize too. Like it's literally what I recall from like the stores in Hawaii. And then on top of that, they have this. They just make some really good dried pineapple pieces. Like, oh, so good. So good. I love it so much. And I was so excited to find both of those things because I was like, yes, I used to eat these so much as a kid, and now I can do it again. Although I can't eat as much of the Iso peanuts as I used to because they're very hard. It's a very hard outer coating, and I'm like, my teeth are. Well, they don't actually like. It's not like hurting them or anything, but I'm just like, wow, I feel like it's more crunchy than I remember. Ooh, you varnish your Gasland terrain, Overlord Tweak. That's awesome. Yeah, Richmond's, like I said, I completely agree with you. Richmond's a nice place to go visit. Absolutely. Alright, let's get our second coating on this guy, as he's looking a wee bit splotchy. Just do a second thin coat, just like Duncan Rhodes taught us all those years ago. I think we'll be fine. I wonder if he gets... Well, he probably doesn't because he calls his paint line too thin coats, so clearly he just really embraced it. But I wonder if he ever gets tired of that joke. You know what I mean? Alright, pants are looking good on that side. Let's get the other side, which needs a little bit more color to it. From this angle, this German soldier kind of looks barefoot. It's a little awkward. He's not. It's just the smoothness of his shoes makes it look like he's just got a bare heel. Sir, don't you know you should be charging extra for that? Alright, that's looking good. Okay, so you guys are saying that the helmets should be like maybe a little bit darker, but roughly the same color as the field gray, right? That's what we determined earlier, is that I need to darken things a little bit. Might let this dry then and get the other uniforms and then mix that paint up if that's the case. Okay, I think that's looking pretty good though. Cool. Alright, let's get him set aside and we'll work on the next boy. Ooh, you're prepping some British Flames of War platoons to paint? Awesome. I have a couple of, also German, Flames of War infantry and some tanks actually to paint as well. Are you new to the game or have you been playing for a while and what do you think of it? I'm actually fairly new to the game. I just picked up my first starter set, but I'm very excited to give it a shot. I was a military brat, so I moved around a lot. And then I was, the only reason I've traveled abroad is because my college offered the study abroad program for my degree, what is the word I'm looking for? Department. That's the word I'm looking for. My department ended up going over there because they had been doing this same study abroad program for years, but my department had never gone previously, and so we were one of the first like groups to go for at least the sequential department, which was really exciting. It was totally worth it. I hope they're still doing it. I know that the professor that originally had done the majority of it unfortunately passed away several years, and well, it's actually been like, it's been a longer time than I want to think about when he passed away, and I assume they're still doing it, but I actually don't know specifically. I hope they are, because I think it was a really worthwhile program. And then the only other time was actually because Chaos Cultist's work when he used to do, when he was in the game development field, sent him for some big conference that I now can't remember what it was specifically, but there was some big conference happening in London at the time, and he was there to do demos, I think for VR. I think that's when he was doing, was that with IGT or was that with, I don't remember now. I don't remember which studio we went to England with. I think it was one of the earlier ones. So I want to say, yeah. Regardless, the point is that's the only those are the only two reasons I've actually traveled outside the country, is because of school, which I just got lucky and qualified for and was able to, like, thankfully afford. I was able to use scholarships towards it and everything, so it made it a little bit easier. But yeah, like, was able to do that, and then the other time was because I was just going with my partner because he had work stuff, and I got to be the spoiled one and just run around London and do touristy shit, and it was really, really fun. While he was happened to, be stuck in a convention center chatting with people about whatever that we were there for him. And yeah, I was lucky. I got to go do fun stuff. You played in 3rd edition, now you just collect them? Got it. Do you know what edition they're on currently? I actually don't. I don't know if I remember seeing that called out in the box set specifically. Like them being like, this is the 4th or 5th edition of Flames of War. Alright, let's get the next guy going. These models fit together actually quite well, except for this dude. On him, when I put his butt together, because his legs were in pieces, none of the other guys did this. All the other guys, their legs were together already, but for some reason his legs were separated into 2 chunks, and when I connected them, he had a nice big butt crack gap, which you might have seen me correcting in the video earlier today with some of the glue sprue, or sprue glue, I said that backwards, that I had mixed up for gap filling and such, which worked really well. But yeah, he had a weird gap, but everybody else fit together super cleanly. He was the only one. I just assume it's something about, like, maybe I missed cleaning something and I didn't get a even enough, you know, facing to each other when I put the 2 connection points together. It's entirely possible. Tried to be as thorough as I could, but there was a point where I started feeling like I was rushing. I think these are 1/48 scale in the same way that the tank is. I can't imagine that they would make them different scales. That would then make them inaccurately sized to the tank that they're going with. So I think they're 1/48 scale. And if I'm wrong about that, I apologize. I've actually not looked, like, to see how that works when it comes to the figures versus the tanks. Or are they 135th? Did I get that wrong? Does it say on this thing? Oh, yep. You're right. Sorry. 135th. I don't know why I keep saying 148. Do I have something that's 148 scale? That has been stuck in my head every time I've talked about tanks recently, and I don't know where it's coming from. I must have something. I think I know that the British male 4 that I picked up, or 4 male, or whatever, however it's said, is a different scale than these. And maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Like, maybe that's the kit that I have stuck in my head that's making me get my scales wrong. But yes, so 135th. There we go. Oh, I got a little bit of green paint on his hand. Let me see if I can get that off. Cool. Actually stays pretty wet for a while, which is great. That cleaned up nicely. Alright, Vallejo, you've earned a point. You've earned a major point. That is a convenient element of your paints. That cleaned up super nicely. Oh my goodness. You're building and painting an Italian 135th Semovente? Hopefully Semovente? I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, so I apologize. Tank. Let me look what that is, because I am not familiar. Let's see. let's see, it's spelled S-E-N-O-V-E-N-T-A. Ah, okay.
Your planes are 1/48.
Oh, is that what it is? Is the okay?
Planes are bigger than
Oh, of course.
are bigger in wingspan than tanks, so they have to make them a little bit smaller.
I see. Okay, that's what I'm thinking of then. I moved the plane over there.
Yeah.
Isn't it a pretty fun collection?
It is, yes. Yeah, so basically, like a 1/48 tank would be somewhere between these and these.
Okay, got it.
Closer to this, but...
Okay, I understand. So the tank that I built is slightly larger than the scale of the tanks.
Yeah, when the denominator of the fraction becomes larger, the scale gets smaller.
Okay, that makes sense. I always...
Think of it this way.
Yes.
Something that is 1/2 my size is this big.
Yep.
Something that is 1/100th my size, itty bitty.
Yes, I understand. That makes total sense.
Yep.
Hello, Hari. Welcome. Can you give me some water? Yeah. Like drinkable water, not painting water. Ah, thank you. Perfect. Excellent. Continue with our camo. Nope, hold on, let me make sure that I'm on screen by not having a window open to block. That tank looks cool though. That tank looks really cool. Possibly. I'm sure there are some pretty cool 3D printable versions of various sci-fi figures or models like that, like the Defiant and everything. That would be fucking rad.
There are. Most of them come in a lot of separate pieces, but I don't think that would be a huge deal.
No, it would just end up being we just need to print them in pieces. Oh yeah, you built the Marauder. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Speaking of, this is 1/44th scale.
1/44th scale?
Yeah, 1/140.
Got it. The Marauder from the Bad Batch.
I need to paint it.
Yes, still just with its the gray plastic and everything. But one of the things I really like about this kit, I don't remember who made it, but you guys can see in the front there's some like red windows, and then on the back there is another red window, and then I like the blue that they put in for the engines and
those
everything.
are snap in, so I can pull them back out before we prime.
Oh, nice! I just kind of figured we could end up masking them. But that works.
And also the wings move.
Oh yes, yeah, the wings do actually, in fact, move, so you can fold it up for landing, or have them down for when it's flying, which I think is pretty rad. Go, and it comes with a nice little stand. I don't remember, can you check? Because it's not a Bandai one, right? That's somebody else. You uploaded a video? Nice. Congratulations. Oh, let me crack my neck real quick, guys. Sorry. Oh, I was working long and hard on the Marder, and so I've just been, like, over my desk for a while now, and I think I'm a little sore. Back on camera? Yes.
The company was AMT.
Ah, AMT, yes. I was like, I know it's one that I've seen a bit in Hobbies Unlimited. Oh, I need to find out where our next meeting's gonna be. So I don't know if we're gonna be able to go to Hobbies Unlimited. Oh, I need to contact them. Alright. Well, regardless, let's not worry about that right now. Let's just keep painting. Get our guys painted up so we can put them with the tank. Pose them with it, maybe. Probably not going to finish them today, let's be honest, but That's okay. Honestly, if I can get the clothing done today, I'll be feeling pretty good about things, because their faces and some of the details really don't take long. The biggest thing is just getting their uniforms painted up. Nice! I think a lot of people tend to upload on Saturdays. I think Mr. Beast uploaded a video today. So, we're competing with lots of people. Such is the way of the YouTube grind. You know what? Actually, I had a little bit of a gap there. I don't think it'll be super noticeable. And if I do, I'll green stuff it later, repaint it, and we'll be fine. I say green stuff and not using the sprue glue because the sprue glue will just cause all of the other paint to run in a weird way, whereas the putty will just be there, and then I can prime it and repaint it. Did I glue that in place? I did. What a fool. What a fool. I should have left it unglued so that I could paint his uniform easier. That would have been the smart thing to do, but we never said I was smart. We never said that. Alright. And by we, I mean I. I have never said that. There we go, there we go. Alright, I think we're looking good. We need to paint that pant leg a little bit more. We'll do it thin. To not cake on too much more paint, but to fill in our color a bit better. There we go. Okay, that's looking good. Spinning around, check the front of his pants. Mostly good. A little bit of... Ooh, I just horribly moved the paint there. I am! We're getting prepared to fire. Absolutely we are, Glenn. Thank you for that. Oops, I completely got green paint on his belt, but whatever. Get that arm, we got some loose coverage, and then just shove your brush in there and get his sides. Okay, we just need the shirt to dry a bit so we can go back over it one more time, because I'm certain it's going to need it. We also need to get that shoulder, this collar on that side. There we go. Get rid of any pulling that I see happening, because that's awkward. I don't want any. I don't want any paint pooling on those folds. Could get super weighed down and not look good. Oops. Let's get that. Let's get that on his side. I swear it's impressive to me how many places you can be like, oh, I missed there. Oh, I missed there. Oh, I missed that as well. Holy cow, I missed all of that. It's amazing how many times that can actually happen during a painting process. It's like, wow, I suck and I can't see anything, apparently. Oh my gosh, you know what I watched yesterday? Just to completely change subjects. Starship Troopers. It was good. I haven't watched it in so long. And I've only seen like it unedited, I think maybe once or twice. Majority of my memory of it actually is rip tracks. And watching it in theaters for rip tracks and stuff, which was really fun. But watched it yesterday. I love that movie so much. Apparently because of Helldivers 2, the actor that played Rico is having a fun little resurgence right now, because I think a lot of people who have gone back and rewatched Starship Troopers recently, and it's made him very relevant, which is just very funny. Oh, what's people's favorite movie, TV, sci-fi ship? Ooh. I really like the Firefly. I really like the Firefly's design. The Ghost from Star Wars is a really good one. I do like the Marauder a lot for Bad Batch. That's one of the reasons we got that particular ship. What else do I really like? I do admit that I like a Rogue Traders vessel, and from 40k, I do think their vessels are very cool. Oh man, I'm sure there's others. Oh, there's something that I was thinking of. It's I don't think it's Jupiter Ascending. There was something that I was watching that's like a really sort of campy, not good, but kind of good sci-fi show. And I want to say they just had some really out there ship designs. And I can't remember what it was. It may have been Jupiter Ascending. They had some fun things in there. Oh, Riddick has some fun ships. Like the Riddick series does. Spaceship Yamato? Hell yeah, Dick Skull. That's great. The Cylon fighters are cool. I do like the, oh, the Vipers. Is that what they're called? That Starbuck and them fly in Battleship Galactica. That's really good. Oh! What is... I think... Weren't the ships that the Wraith had pretty neat looking? Let's see, the Wraith in Battlestar Galactica. Or not Battlestar Galactica. Stargate. What was ships? I thought they looked pretty neat. Yeah, the Wraith ships, because they're kind of Nid-like. They're very organic. So that was cool. Sure, why not? Why wouldn't they count? It's a sci-fi show. Or movie. Yeah, the Wraiths from Stargate. I like their ships. Their ships are pretty cool. The alien ships, of course, are very neat. Like the ones in the Alien movies. Just to go with a classic, with the Geiger designs. You know what? Who else actually has some really cool ships? Dune. The Ornithopter? Fuck yeah. You guys have ever seen the, Mobius art that they did for that Dune movie that never came out back in, is it the 80s or 90s? I can't even remember now. Or was it later than that? I don't remember, but whenever they were working on that big failed project, where they did, a massive documentary about it, because there was, so many, big names potentially being involved in this, and it just completely fell through, the ship designs that they were doing for that were really cool, because Mobius has some out there designs. I've never watched The Expanse, but I do hear positive things about their ship designs and such, so that doesn't surprise me at all. Alright, he is dry ink, but not fully dry yet. Let's just spread some of this paint around to help it. There we go, I got that arm a little bit better. So are Tyranid ships. Doesn't make them any less ships. Oh yeah, no, the ships from well, Ahsoka is just, oh no, you're right, she doesn't have the ghost. She does have her own ship. We just see the ghost in the first season of Ahsoka. Yeah, no, Ahsoka's ship is pretty cool. I have the Lego version of that one. I've never seen Babylon 5. I'm actually not super familiar with what their ship designs. I bet they have some rad ones, though, considering when that came out. You know, to be fair, Starship Troopers has some fun ships. They're not, like, super amazing or anything, but they're definitely iconic and very fun. Alright, I think he's looking pretty good. We'll come back to him when he's more dry. Do I have a fourth? Where's my... I need a fourth. Look, this one even has putty on it already. Way more than I need, but... that's fine. Oh, you know what is also a really cool ship? Moya from what is it called? It's on sci-fi. Had puppets. And also Claudia Black, who is hot as fuck. What is the sci-fi show that I'm forgetting the name of with the Moya and Claudia? Farscape, thank you. The ships in Farscape are also very cool. Do a search for Starbug? Okay. Let me look. Starbug. No, not Starbucks, Starbug. Do you mean you want coffee? Oh, interesting. It's a round design. Interesting. Okay, you know what? I like it because it's very Tachikoma-like. And I dig that. And you said this is from the League of Utter Disaster? So it's from Babylon 5? The Red Dwarf. Okay, that's cool. Dude, somebody did a LEGO Ideas version of it? That would be so sick! Okay, I really do like its cute design. I do enjoy a good rounded ships. Oh! Okay, you know what else has an absolutely epic ship design? And it's not, it's technically not a live action show, but we just said sci-fi and like movies and television series, and it's technically still a television series. Why do I keep doing this? Every time I go to say the name, Outlaw Star. Outlaw Star has some epic ship designs. Epic ship designs. Macross, too, has some cool ones. Oh, and also Last Exile, if you want, like, airship. Like, cool airship and blimp designs. Really, really cool. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate the appreciation, Havman. You are, as always, very greatly appreciated and thanked. Ooh, the War of Worlds has some cool designs in it. Especially with the bugs. Or like the alien, like walkers and stuff. Very classic. Alright, let's get get this next guy's uniform started while we continue to discuss our favorite sci-fi ships. Homeworld. Not a television show or movie, but Homeworld also has some really good ship designs. If we want to bring it into the world of video game, like sci-fi video game ships as well. I also like the sub in Atlantis, as well as the big creature that guards Atlantis that the sub had to deal with, because that was a cool, like, self-piloted ship design, like, creature. It was kind of like a robot, really, but it was still a big underwater submarine ship thing, so I'm gonna count it. Oh, were they ornithopter-like? I don't know if I've seen the Oblivion movie. That's really cool. I do like the ornithopter design a lot. That dragonfly feel with the with those wings. Very, very cool. We actually you guys probably saw it in the video where I showcased a couple of hobby shops in my area. I did get the ornithopter for the Chaos Cultist, and he has built it. It is a pretty impressive Lego build. And I do like the way that the wings move. It's very cool. Like, I'm very impressed with the engineering on that design. Have you guys felt like you've been staring at German butts for a while? Because with all the pants that we've been painting. Very silly. Alright, there we go. I think the front looks good. Make sure I get on the sides. There we go. Slave 1 is a very cool design. You're absolutely right. Boba Fett's ship is definitely super, super cool. Oh, Oblivion's the movie with Tom Cruise in it. Is that what you mean? Because, like, I will admit, I stopped watching Tom Cruise movies after The Last Samurai because I got so angry with his behind-the-scenes content. I was a young weeb, and he was acting like I didn't know all this stuff about samurai already, and I'm like, I didn't have the concept of, oh, he's saying this for people who maybe aren't, you know, total Japanophile and just obsessed with the culture, because I was like, I don't remember when that movie came out, but I want to say I was like a preteen or teen or so, and I was like, I already know all of this, Tom Cruise, stop treating me like I'm some idiot who doesn't know stuff about Japan. I watch anime, damn it. And so I got really angry. And I was like, fuck you. And then it redoubled because he made a shitty remake of The Mummy. My favorite movie ever, and he is not Brendan Fraser. No matter how hard he wishes he was. I know Tom Cruise does not wish he was Brendan Fraser, but like, I'm sorry, it's not the same. It's just not, you can't do it the same. Also, his movie made no sense. It was so fucking dumb. I didn't see it intentionally because the trailer pissed me off. Its existence, really. Like, the announcement of a Mummy 4 coming out or whatever. Just... or a reboot of it, or whatever they were trying to do with that. Just... no. The third movie was already bad enough. We don't need more. Either completely redo it and just start from scratch and, like, not whatever the fuck that movie was. Or let it die and leave it alone. And preserve the memory forever of Brendan Fraser and that entire cast kicking absolute ass. Yes, I will bring this up every single stream. Not every single stream, but I feel like it comes off a lot. Well, sometimes it's just not your people's jam, you know? Sometimes you're more of a fantasy or a IRL or a, I don't know, romance, comedy, perhaps. Just, you know, fan instead of sci-fi. This guy actually has like medals and stuff. Okay, we're gonna go into a little bit more detail on his outfit. He must be like the commander. Is that a fucking German cross? Wow. All right. Well, fair enough. I mean, yeah, I guess he's a German soldier. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's paint. Got about half an hour left of stream. At least I've got paint on all 4 miniatures. That's good. That is... makes me feel good. Is he wearing gloves? He does look like he's wearing gloves. What color would his gloves have been? Would they be black or would they also be the same green color? Since he is, I believe, the commander of this unit. With these medals and such. I would assume so, at least. Okay. Okay, here's the thing, though. I've seen, and this is not a joke that I made, and in fact, Chaos Cultist shared it with me, and I don't even think it's one that he originally made. I think he just saw it online. But, okay, so speaking of the new Crow movie, and I completely get you, so I don't expect this to change your mind, but at least think of it this way. Are you familiar with Sting from WCW, who based his change for his character on the original Crow? Well, now, the modern Crow has based his image off of Sting's adopted son, Darby Allin. If you ever look up a picture of Darby Allin, the new Crow is like... there's definitely a resemblance, and it's really, really funny. Because my initial reaction, I will admit, seeing the new Crow, was like... I feel like you're almost going too far. Like, it almost leans a little bit too modern Joker to me, and I don't like the modern Joker as much as I like Heath Ledger or even later Jokers. Or like the animated Joker, for example. However, thinking about it as the Sting based his look on the Crow, and now I feel like the Crow is basing his look on Darby Allin, it does make me laugh, so it does alleviate it a little bit for me. I don't know if that will help you at all with your feelings about it. And trust me, I'll say I get it. I do get it. Because, yeah, if, like, when I saw the remake for The Mummy with Tom Cruise, I was like, what the fuck is this? Why are you making this? So I get it. And I'm so sorry. Like, it's really a shame, in my personal opinion, that I feel like In the same way that game development seems to just be remaking all of their own old classics, I feel like movies are also just remaking all of, you know, those films and such over and over again. And it's sad that investors and CEOs and such are not willing to invest in new material and take a risk on it. They just have to guarantee a cash flow. And it's so sad. But such is late-stage capitalism, I suppose. For what that's worth. Oh, also, did I get an answer about the gloves? I love the Riddick movies. But I'm also a Vin Diesel, like, fangirl, so I just think it's awesome. Excellent, Michael. I'll have to check it out. I haven't seen what the story is going to be. I've only seen a picture of the actor. So are they literally redoing it? Is it just a one-for-one, like, retelling, and they're not even trying to tell a new story? See, that's so lazy. That's so lazy. If that's what they're doing. I understand why you're more upset now. Because at least with the Tom Cruise one, they kind of, like, they at least took it out of Egypt. And, like, tried to do something different, even though it was fucking dumb. And in my opinion, didn't really seem to make... Are you not attached? Okay, well, apparently I didn't glue those down very well, so we'll have to reattach his stuff, but I'm just gonna paint there. And then we'll clean it up. But with them gone, it'll make it a little bit easier. Also, I've noticed some of these Germans have ties. Would it be okay for, like... Because I kind of want to add a little bit more details to some of their uniforms, even though I know traditionally they would just be mostly this green color tone. But, like, if I made their ties black or, like, a dark gray or something, would that be completely off uniform? Would it be acceptable, you think? Ah, it's just a reboot? That's so boring. I was hoping they were actually at least going to do, like, something new in regards to story, or at least modernize it in some way instead of, like, hopefully that's what it's going to be. Maybe they're rebooting it, but at least trying to modernize it in some way, which will, in a kind of a way, justify, like, some of the changes, perhaps, but I don't know. It's been so long, actually, since I've watched it. I think I've only seen The Crow once. Tragic. Like a absolute tragic filming. Excess paint around, so I'm trying to get rid of that before it dries all goopy like. That'd be bad. We don't want goopy. We don't want goopy paint. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Oh, did I miss a spot on your hat, bud? Oh, I kind of did. Hold on. Okay, there we go. And there we go. Get in that little groove, please. Paint. It's fine, the wash will fill it in. Alright. We got a little bit of spottiness there, so we're just gonna kind of go over some of these guys with some very watered down paint. Again, we don't want to build up too much more like stuff on them to lose some of those fine line details on the sculpt, but we do definitely want the opacity to be pretty even. Before we apply our wash, just for consistency's sake. Okay. I think that looks better on him. Use a little bit more on the chest and this right arm. Okay, there we go. There we go. Yeah, no, we corrected that like ages ago. That they're 135th. My plane is 148th. That's why I was getting it messed up. Like I have a plane that's 148th scale that I built. Tank uniforms are black. The medals are probably a Wounded Badge or Iron Cross. It's an Iron Cross, and then there's another one that has, oh, let's see, where is it? So there's definitely, let me get it to focus. So it looks like there's an Iron Cross there, and then something that's rounded. I'm not really sure. Let me see, it looks like, yeah, I can't tell what the details in it are at this point with the way that the paint's drying, but it looks round, but one is definitely an Iron Cross. How much are you thinking the paint? I don't quite understand your question, Bobby. Like, do you mean how do I like the Vallejo paint colors? I like them a lot. I've used Vallejo a little bit. I just have a hard time finding them consistently in my area, unless I'm ordering it online. And I tend to only order paint sets online. I don't tend to order like individual colors, with the exception of when I've bought some stuff from Green Stuff World in the past. I don't know why. I just have a weird thing about it. I think because like a few times when I was ordering paints as a buyer for the game store that I worked at in the past, I've had some explode on me in shipping, and so it just always makes me really nervous to buy them and have them shipped because of air pressure and such. Which is maybe silly, but I don't know. It's how I feel. That is pretty much empty. So let's get some water. Alright, I think the boys are actually looking pretty good. Let's start getting a wash on some of them, and like while this guy dries, we can wash some of these other boys. Oh, how am I thinning them? I might, I'm just using water. I don't tend to use, like paint thinners or those kinds of mediums. I'm a basic bitch and I just use my water. Alright, let's get our Seraphim Sepia shade. I'm gonna go a little lighter on these than I did with the driver. I think I went a little heavy. And I might even see if I can touch him up a smidge, but we'll worry about that later. Alright, let's go. Nice light brown wash. And we'll come back in with some dry brushing. Don't mind if I get a little bit on my hands, that's not a big deal. Let's just keep moving this color around. Really make sure that it's thin. Don't want it to be too heavy. Just enough to leave a light stain, essentially. There we go. Down by his feet, it's okay to be a little heavier, because, you know, closer to the dirt. But it's looking pretty good. I'm liking the way things are looking. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Let's work on the upper portion. Yeah, no, I think for base painting or base coating, I think water works perfectly too. I mean, honestly, like, I'm just one of those people who's very lazy, and I just always use water because while I do have some, like, paint thinners and contrast medium, and occasionally I will pull the contrast medium up as a thinner, because I do like the way that affects the pigments in paint. But most of the time, admittedly, I am just using water. Because I have found that has worked fine, and as long as the water is not overly dirty with the pigments of past colors that I was using, or it's not, like, randomly got some soap in it, because occasionally I'll, like, wash my cups and not rinse them well enough, and there'll be a lot of suds left over in the piece, then it's usually pretty fine for mixing. Like, I have not really had problems with it. I know some people, like, swear by thinners, which is completely valid. I get that 100%. But like I said, I am lazy. Alright, just to kind of show me what this is gonna look like. There we go. Good. Their poses, these poor little German soldiers' poses are so stiff. I want to look into STLs for, like, this scale of figure for future builds, and maybe replace some of the Tamiya figures that they give me in the kits with some resin printed ones, because, like, these are not, I mean, they're not terrible by any means, don't get me wrong. They're just, again, they're really stiff poses. Like, look how awkward his, like, arms are and such. He's, like, gesturing sort of with, I don't know, his elbow looks bent in a awkward and very stiff way. See, I've never worked with enamels, so my go-to for paints is actually contrast normally. So, like, the Citadel contrast colors, which almost function like inks. And, you know, honestly, may function on a fluidness level a little bit more like enamels. But I've never actually used enamels themselves. So I completely understand why it might feel new to you, getting used to some new paint styles. Absolutely. All right, I'm really happy with how this is looking. So let's go ahead and we'll let him dry. And we'll move on to the next guy, and then we'll come back in for some dry brushing. Because I want to at least get one of them dry brushed before the end, just so we can see what that's going to look like. So hopefully he'll dry pretty quickly. In the meantime, I've got the next soldier prepped. Get some more wash on my palette. Let's go ahead and thin it down with some water. And go. But thankfully, it's all about practice when it comes to painting. I have found, like, you'll eventually figure out your paints. You just keep practicing and don't give up on them. Watching other people use the same brands of paints also does help. Especially if there's someone who actually lets you see, like, how they're moving the brush and that kind of thing. Because I find that's very important when watching tutorials of, like, you want to be able to see what they're doing. Because sometimes it's difficult to describe, like, what you're doing, and sometimes it's just easier for people to watch what it is you're doing rather than trying to describe it, because it can be confusing if the person isn't familiar with, like, the technical terms or just art in general. Like, you don't know what their level of art is, so you may end up explaining something in a way that doesn't always work. I struggle with that sometimes myself, so I try to keep things as basic as possible. And then lead into more advanced stuff, like, as the video goes on, where I can kind of try to explain things better. Alright, this is looking real handsome. Like, it's dirtying it just enough to feel very worn and, like, you know, they're out and doing stuff in the field, but not so dirty that it's like, ew, take a shower, bro. Wash your clothes. I mean, maybe that'll still be the reaction, but reasonably so. It's looking good. Make sure we don't miss that. Alright. I don't feel like I'm missing any spots. Looks pretty good. Alright, we'll let him dry. How is the first dude doing? He's actually drying quite well. Oh, I have it on. There we go. Starting to dry. Looking good. Yeah, I think we'll definitely want to dry brush it a smidge. But I think it'll work well. They gave me a really pale pastel green in the set. I kind of want to try it. I'm worried it's going to be like, look how pale it is, though. Look how just absolutely... Like, that is a pastel green. I haven't even shook it up altogether, but it's looking really pastel. Yeah, thinner on an airbrush makes sense, like, because you really want it to make sure it's going through that process in as smooth of a way as possible. But when it comes to just using a brush, I just use water. I have a couple of wet palettes, but I've never used them before. Mostly because I don't normally work with traditional acrylic paints. The contrast paint I don't feel needs the wet palette, because that shit just dries fast anyways, and I think it's just going to spread too much in the wet palette because it's already so fluid. But I don't know, I haven't tried it. I do like speed paints. I do like the Army Painter's speed paints a lot, actually. I'm excited about the Army Painter's Fanatics. line as well. I think that should be really, really fun. God, I really want this guy to dry. I should have brought my blow dryer in here. Let's just keep working on our washes. Are you dry fully yet? It looks like it. Oh, where are the binoculars for the guy that I... Oh, there they are. Okay. Lost them. Alright, let's get some more... wash. A little bit more water. And let's go. Really nice stuff. I do enjoy some of the folds that happen in their pant legs. Even though their pants feel like excessively baggy to me sometimes, I do enjoy the folds. Thinning it down a little bit more so it flows a bit better. Isn't quite as heavy. Again, we're not really wanting him to like look super dirty. We just want him to look a little dirty. Alright, now for the upper body. Settle a little bit more into some of these deeper grooves. So I'll try to bring out some of that green with a dry brush afterwards. I don't need it quite so heavy on the arms though. Alright. That's fine. That's fine. I need to re-angle. There we go. There. Nice. Okay, this is working really nicely. I always get nervous when I go to put like a brown wash over something green like this because I always feel like it's going to mute it too much or make it look too dingy. But I actually think it's working pretty gosh darn well. Alright, oh, your hat. You actually have a hat. Oh, I forgot to paint his hat. We'll come back in with some green in a moment and we'll do that. Let's get this, guys. Let's get underneath the bill. You know, I was really surprised that the tank driver didn't have a helmet on and he just had a hat on. I don't know. If I was driving in a tank, I would want more protection than just a hat. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm crazy. But that just feels like something you might want a little bit more protection on when driving. The oval badge is probably a tank or infantry assault badge. Okay, excellent. And then the other one is the Iron Cross. Perfect. Overlord Tweak, you use a mix of Vallejo, Scale 75, and Pro Acrylic. I've heard really good things about Scale 75 and Pro Acrylic, but I've never... They're kind of like Vallejo. I actually haven't seen much of them in the wild, like around me, so have not had a chance to give them a try. The main difference between, so contrast paint is still an acrylic paint. The main difference is that contrast is closer to an acrylic ink rather than a paint. like a full acrylic paint, because like I can't tell you what the specific difference is because I've never looked up like the technical differences between the two. But yeah, the main thing I can say is contrast functions more like inks, and acrylic paints are going to be more opaque, less transparent, and have a different kind of thickness to it. That's why, like, when contrast paint comes out of, like, that's why contrast looks like, hold on, like, really fluid and very, very fluid like this, and very liquidy. Like, you see how it's not really globbing up and it's kind of just very liquidy, whereas if you open up one of these, it's the whole reason they put it in these stupid paint pots. Whereas, like, this kind comes out of the paint really globby. See? I know that was fast, but I didn't want it to because it's got pressure, but see how it's, like, very globby? So there's just, it's mostly a viscosity thing. But I could not tell you, like, what the differences between the binding agents, for example, are. Like, the only thing that really makes oil paints, acrylic paints, and like watercolor paints super different from each other are generally the binding agents, because the pigments tend to be repeated across all of them. It's just a matter of what they're mixing those pigments with. In oils, of course, it's like linseed oil or various other oils, which is what makes them thicker and very, very viscous, and also prevents them from fully drying ever, because oils don't really dry out. Like, they can, that's when they crack, but normally if like a painting looks good and it's smooth and it's an oil painting, it means it's being cared for properly and the oils haven't gotten dried out and started cracking and stuff. Whereas acrylics are a water-based medium as opposed to an oil-based medium, so you will not find like linseed oil or any of that kind of stuff in acrylic paints. And the same thing with acrylic inks and watercolors. They're all water-based mediums. Which means that they just activate with water, whereas oil does not. Like, it'll stay separate and everything, so you can't really mix water to thin your oils. You have to use either more linseed oil or thinners specifically. Turpentine used to be one of the old ones that was used, and they don't like to use that anymore because it's toxic AF. So that's one of the main things with that. But beyond that, I would not want to go into any more speculation because I don't know. Okay, are you dry fully? Mostly. What the fuck happened there? I got a weird look at this weird thing that happened. You see that white line there? Like, for some reason the paint just did not stick in that spot. I think the wash pushed it out. How bizarre. Okay. Well, regardless, let's try... What are my other greens? I have a yellow... What's the yellow olive look like? That's a green bronze. Where's the yellow olive? I have the blue gray. Is this maybe a good color to... No, that's way dark. Oh, that could have worked on the tank itself. Okay, well, now I know for the future. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mix a little bit of this pastel color tone and that color tone and see what that looks like as a dry brush. I think it's going to be too minty. I think it's going to be way too much of a mint color. Let's mix some field gray into it. Maybe not just bubbles of field. There we go. Just getting a bunch of air out there. Okay, that's looking better. That might work actually as a highlight. I might want a little bit more white. Yeah, the chemicals are harsh. You don't want to leave contrast in natural hair brushes. Although I've found that if you're cleaning your brushes regularly and immediately after you're using your contrast paints, you're pretty fine. Because I use the Tamiya, like this is a natural hair brush. and I use contrast with it all the time. And while it does wear down, you just gotta make sure you're cleaning them well. And I do find that you can make most of them last really long, but I do recommend synthetic hairbrushes with contrast, because yes, it can, if you're not really diligent with how you're cleaning your paints, like, not to say that you may not be cleaning them well, or cleaning them at all, but like that, if you're not super on top of it, you can really fuck up your brushes easily with paint. But that's why I recommend the Winsor Newton Master Series like brush cleaner stuff that comes in that taupe material container. It's just so good. Such really good stuff. What?
I have unlocked Helldiver difficulty.
Oh, how is it?
I don't know. I just beat impossible difficulty to unlock Helldiver difficulty.
Oh.
And that was a
Yeah?
yeah.
It's a bit of a thing?
Yeah.
Excellent.
I hit a break after that one.
That's fair. Can you bring me a dry brush real quick? Like a small one, please? I can't wait to give it a try. Why? It did it again. Look, it separated again. What's it doing? Why?
I went into the mission
Uh-huh.
with a team of 4.
Okay. Did you leave the mission with
It was the one where you have to do, like, 2 things and then do the final objective.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't know Helldivers, I'm sorry. And so we completed the first step and lost most of our lives.
Okay.
We then fought our way to the second step, lost the rest of our lives. One guy quit. There's 3 of us.
Okay.
We have no reinforcements left.
Uh-huh.
We complete the second objective. One of the guys dies.
Okay.
Okay. So we're running to the next objective. Things go on for a while. Eventually we're able to reinforce that guy
Uh-huh.
who died.
Yep.
He's AFK.
Oh, no!
Yep, so me and the other guy advance forward, and about 30 seconds later, both the AFK guy and the still around guy are dead. I'm the only guy left standing.
Oh, no.
I then spent 5 minutes kiting around the Tyranid High Fleet Leviathan
Okay.
behind myself, completing the main objective, like running to the command console, entering something, then running for my goddamn life.
Uh-huh. Jimmy Stender, welcome to the Hobby Night Legion. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No problem. We finally get it completed.
Uh-huh.
Extraction at impossible difficulty takes 4 minutes.
Oh, shit. Okay, good to know.
So by this point, AFK guy has just disappeared. He's disconnected. It's just me and this other guy left who is dead.
Okay.
I summon him back right before I get to extraction. About a minute into extraction, he is dead.
Oh, no. Okay.
At the end, I was only surviving
Uh-huh.
because the Bile Titans were starting to kill each other.
Oh, excellent.
Because it was such a tight choke point, and I was running around so much, they were barfing on each other and killing each other.
That is hilarious.
And I got the F out with 5 ultra rare samples.
Ooh.
9 rares, 9 commons, the only survivor.
That is fucking amazing.
On impossible.
That sounds epic. I understand why you might need a break. Well, I'm actually almost done. I just wanted to get this one dude dry brush because I'm really liking the way that... No. I'm not going to play the game with you. I'm just saying I'm going to stop streaming in a moment. Alright. This is looking really good, actually. I didn't do this dry brush on my tank driver, but I'm probably going to go back in and see if I can get a little bit of it on him because I'm really liking what this is doing for the model. I think it's bringing some color back in. We're still getting that nice field gray, but it's a little bit lighter. And I'm very much enjoying that. We've got some real depth happening now on the uniforms, and I think I was missing that a little bit from the video. So I'm glad I went this extra step. Thank you guys so much for joining me today while I work on painting some more of the figures for my martyr. I'll probably finish these up off stream in the meantime, and if I end up doing a diorama, you'll probably at least see pictures of it if I don't end up doing a video about it, but that might be a little ways out because I have a couple other things planned in the meantime. But however, I hope you guys have enjoyed today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and and just being here to chat. I've very much enjoyed it. I need to fix that one little spot. It's gonna drive me goddamn nuts if it doesn't. I just want you to be painted, little area on my boy. I don't know why the wash like forced so much of that paint away, but like please just stay painted. Okay, hopefully that'll work. We'll bring a little bit of this color back out. There. All right. I think we're looking good. Thank you guys for being here. I hope you had a wonderful time, and I will see you next week on Tuesday with another live stream, and also probably a news video, because Games Workshop announced a couple things that I think are worthwhile of talking about, so we'll probably have a news video next week as well. Yeah. Have a good one, everybody. Have a lovely rest of your weekend and an exceptional hobby night. See ya!